Hello, hello, and good morning. We're back with another episode. Sorry, I was getting things set up for the morning and for the show. I naturally get a little more excited when we talk into the world of real estate. And it's funny, even when I'm working with people who are not in real estate, get asked a lot of questions about real estate. And for full transparency, not, still a couple years into the investing side of the business anyway. Was a real estate agent and studied, read. I cannot tell you how many real estate books that I read through college. And then the first 3 years out of college, just in disgusting amount. Probably better. I do want to preface and give most of my thanks for my knowledge in real estate and pulling back to the basics is called Bigger Pockets, biggerpockets.com. That company's always really good for introductions, beginnings, get your mindset where you probably need to be at, and essentially finding. Uh, Bigger Pockets taught me how to find the right people to kind of get the right conversations going because books are great. Books are awesome, and you can learn a shitload from them. However, meeting with people who have actually done what it is that you want to do is a very, very powerful and good thing to do. It's beyond helpful. It makes things so much quicker, immediate answers, good ideas, and feedback. If you have more questions on that, you can always ask me when after we're done with the show and we're done with the laws, the three laws of real estate. That is this morning's topic, this morning's show. And this stuff even works if you're not an investor, but you're just wanting to get a good deal on a house. People deal with real estate all the time, whether they believe they're investors or not. Buying your own personal home. I don't personally believe buying your own personal home is an asset because you're paying the money every month. But that's an argument for a different time. But the point is you're going to be dealing and buying real estate at some point where you're going to be working within it, or it's just a fun topic to learn. It's pretty cool. 9 out of 10 millionaires are through real estate. Property has proven to be one of the most reliable sources of value over the long haul because where are you going to live? Where are you going to go? You want your own space? Do you think people not are going to not want their own space moving forward in the future? No. And if you look at cities, say over in like China and India and stuff like that, where these little tiny condos are worth $1 million and this and that because there's just so many people and so many people competing to want their own space and stuff like that. And I don't see that not being the case in America over the next 50 years as well. So I got faith. And either way, let's go ahead and jump into these laws. I got a banners up. So law number one. So let's kind of show this. Law number one, buy for cash flow, not appreciation. And I put natural appreciation in there as this kind of screen comes by, but feel free to like jot this down or buy for cash flow, not natural appreciation. Okay, so what does that mean? Really quick. Cash flow. So, say if I buy a house and I got a mortgage and I got water and I got electric and I got gas and I have taxes and insurance and all these fun expenses, right? For a house. So, say if I buy this house and then after I get $1,000 a month in rent and all those expenses I was just talking about, they cost me $700. So I have $1,000 in rental income. This is from the tenant. And then I have $700 in expenses. The difference between that, your income and your expenses each month, is called cash flow. It is called cash flow. And people buy, smart investors who last over the long haul, people I've talked to who've been in the business for decades and kind of seeing what's working, what's not working, trying to remind ourselves of the basic. Number one is that we are buying for cash flow, not natural appreciation. Natural appreciation is when a property goes up in value because it's in a desired area. And what would be an example of natural appreciation would be, so in Austin, Texas, they have this big, beautiful like body of water river that kind of like runs through and it cuts off two sides of the city. And property on the water is landlocked. They're not going to build on the water. So they got to build west or east on the other side. That would be natural appreciation because over time, the values are going to go up and it's protected by this asset. And there's going to be more people wanting it and less opportunity to build on it or build around it and that kind of stuff. Natural appreciation, being in a good area and the asset going up in value over time. Natural appreciation. So if you looked at your housing value over the last how many months, physical assets are protected by inflation. That's a whole nother economic talk we don't have to get into today. However, you notice that the value of your house is going up, the number anyway, because of inflation. How much the power of your dollar being spent goes down, but the number of your house. So say if you bought like one of my duplexes I bought for 50 grand and now it's worth close to $100,000 just because of inflation and a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. It's forcing the value up. So natural appreciation, not buying for that, but buying for cash flow because you got to make sure you can pay your bills. And that'll be another one of the laws essentially, is getting into and making sure you can pay your bills, because that's when people get fried and they're forced to sell. Because you don't technically own these homes. You're like leasing to own them from the government and from the Whiteside County that you live in. But either way, buying for cash flow. Number two, that's the first law, buy for cash flow. Make sure when you're buying something that it's making money. Huge. To think that, turn around this and that, and that's good and handy dandy and stuff, and you can make improvements. But make sure when the deal's set and settled, and as they say a lot of times, stabilized, it is cash flowing. Number one. Number two, secure long-term debt. If all of the rich people and all of the smart investors, they bought a lot of debt over the last couple of years because interest rates were really, really low. And that's what smart investors who make a shitload of money do. When interest rates are low, they secure shitloads of long-term debt, tons of long-term debt, insane amount of debt. And there's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt is when somebody else is paying your bill. So, the $700 we were talking about earlier with expenses. If my renter is paying for those expenses, it's coming out of their pocket, not mine. That's good debt. Bad debt would be like a credit card. It'd be like a college tuition bill. It would be your own home or something like that where you're paying the debt. That's bad debt. We don't want to pay debt. We want other people to pay our debt. And securing long-term, because markets fluctuate up and down. So all these guys you saw these as low as like 2% interest rates. 2% interest rates. We're looking at like 6% interest rates right now. So 2% to 6%, that's triple the payment. So say you're paying 2% on interest on your home, and your mortgage was this month, it would literally, and say if you were paying $1,000 a year in interest on your loan, that would jump to $3,000 if it went from 2 to 6%. It's literally tripling. A lot of people don't take the time to do the math behind that, but it's brutal how much interest you pay just by a small 2 to 6%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's literally tripling how much you're paying. So a lot of smart guys, they lock in these 10-year, 15-year, 30-year loans for long term when the interest rates are low. Now, law number two, securing long-term debt. So number one, buying for cash flow. Number two, securing long-term debt. And number three, which I think is the most important, is having adequate cash reserves. adequate cash reserves. And we're going over this video because yesterday I had a bunch of bullshit going on with my own rentals, because that's the name of the game, right? Real estate, houses break. Oh man, these should be laws in themselves, right? Houses break and people are freaking crazy. People are out of their minds and houses break. So knowing these two things to be truth, number three is super, super important, having adequate cash reserves, because you're going to run into stuff that I never thought was humanly possible. Um, yeah. So like people doing crazy stuff getting wrecked in weird ways that make absolutely no sense. And that's just part of it. And you got to be able to pay for it to get it fixed in an immediate manner, because law, especially I'm an investor in Illinois, and the laws favor the tenants. So we got to do it's a lot easier to get into the market and buy here because everyone's running. But when I'm finding really good deals, I gotta just cross my T's and dot my I's on the way in, or else you're gonna be dealing with a lot of headaches and pains in your ass. So number three, having adequate cash reserves. And then the bonus law that I just wanted to put in here, that it's so common. And whenever I'm looking at the going to be making money on a real estate deal or not, it's, oh, I forgot to put the Y and buy at the end there. Apologize for that. The bonus being investors buy, they make money or break even when they buy. They make money or break even when they buy. If something is not a good deal on day one, probably don't buy it, because you usually, on any type of deal, you usually overestimate how much money you're going to make versus underestimate. Because things like leaky water pipes, you got to replace all this PVC pipe in the basement. Oh, turns out the furnace is old and busted. Oh, we have bed bugs. Oh, we have the roof's starting to fall apart. The softening fascia is rotting out. This houses break and people are freaking crazy. So you got to really make sure that your margin for your profit that you do want to have within real estate is in when you buy. And that's how most investors make a ton of their money, is they wait for the market to crash, housings come down, they can secure really long-term low interest debt, they can buy it cheap, and then by having cheap loans on your property lowers your expenses, so it makes it a lot easier to have cash flow. And as you get more cash flow and you save your money, because you want to save everything you can, don't just go spend it, because now you got some money coming in and you got to reinvest it, because you're going to have stuff breaking on the house, or you're going to have a new person coming in, et cetera, et cetera. So the three laws of real estate: buy for cash flow, make sure that the thing's making enough money to pay the bills. Know your bills, make sure it's making enough money to pay for bills. Number one, buy for cash flow. Number two, secure long-term debt. And number three, have adequate reserves, because shit will break, people will do crazy stuff, and you got to be prepared for it when things come arise and you're going to have to pay for the bill. These are the three laws of real estate, most common for investors who have been successful over the long haul. And it's a slow game. If your goal is to get super rich super quick, real estate's probably not for you. Real estate is a great wealth generator for people who are really trying to be wealthy in like 20, 30 years. That sounds awful, but I'm going to get old anyway. And it's like I said, 9 out of 10 millionaires are through real estate. So I'm willing to wait for my profits. Like I'm not touching anything, not touching any of those, because the goal is to build up a shitload of them and sell them to a big company out of like Chicago or something, and then try and get my family and myself a lot of money. That's at least my goal and plan. But anyway, I digress. These are the three laws of real estate. If you have more questions about real estate, I coach and work with a lot of real estate agents and a lot of real estate investors, do a lot of coaching, both putting together a life and a business plan. If you need a life plan over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, or you need a personal plan and a business plan. What's the business going to be looking like over the next year, 3 years, 5 years? We got to have a direction. We got to have an outcome, as we talked about how it's so important in goal setting, and to know your outcome at the very end of what it is you want. If you need help working on this, working together, this is my specialty, and you can go over to talktotanner.com and sign up for a free coaching session today. Excuse me. Still cannot get this mucus out of me. I'm really excited to feel better here in the next couple of days. But I digress. I have a meeting and a speech here coming up. You guys got your own stuff to do today. Keep kicking ass, keep kicking names. If you want to talk more about real estate, you can always send me another message or try and set up a free consultation. I'm way over time, but when we talk about real estate, I can't help myself. So enjoy, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, August 18th. We're already through August, halfway through August. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Spring, fall weather coming here soon. So enjoy. Keep kicking ass, taking names. Let's not procrastinate. Get stuff done today. And I'll be seeing you all bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Cheers, friends. Have an amazing day. Let's play some music as we're rolling out of here. I'm off. Enjoy. Have a good one, everyone. 3 laws of real estate. Cheers, friends. Until next time, share with somebody if you think they'd benefit from this video. Please share with friends. Let them know that you know the 3 laws of real estate. Ask them if they've ever been interested in. Thanks again, guys. Cheers.